Good morning, everybody. Today I wanted to talk to you just a few minutes about how the world is getting worse. I know that most people already know that, but I've been really experiencing it and understanding it. It's been kind of manifesting to me in new ways. I guess when you get rid of, or you wake up to the narcissistic love partner type relationship, and there's no way that you're going to allow the enemy to attack you in that area of your life anymore. It seems like the next thing is then family try to come back in, or old exes and old ex-friends that you've kicked out of your life that were narcissists. And then when that doesn't work, then you get people around you that were your friends. They start turning on you. They start turning on you because there's no other way that Satan can get to you. So then, well, what happens is the narcissist people that are in positions around you, I'll just say it like that, positions around you at places that you frequent, that you thought were your friends, then they start to act out on you. You see, because now the enemy's got no way to hit you except for these undercover frenemies. And so normally the frenemies would typically, like, maybe they would be cool with you in those areas that you would see them, and maybe they would just flip out at home. But now he has double agenting you and trying to get you in trouble and trying to mess your world up and mess your peace up. You know, you talk about protecting your peace, and they start to try to mess it. They really do. And then you kick them out of your life, and then it just seems like it comes from anybody that you have to deal with. So it's kind of like you have very few friends now, just the ones that you vetted from a long time ago, before narcissism. There's a few that are really good for you. And so you got like two of them. Okay, and then after that, it turns into anybody that you have to deal with. Like, let's say you have to go to work, so you got to deal with people at work. It's not like they're friends, but you got to deal with them. A lot of them are going to be kind of trying to come at you in a toxic way all of a sudden. Because why? Well, because the enemy can't get you anywhere else, but you got to deal with these people. Or you got to deal with the Harris Teeter lady at the register or whatever, you know what I mean? So they start kind of coming at you like that because that's all you got left, or that's all he has left that he can come at you with. So what you end up learning to do is to speak little and listen much, and to give a soft answer, to turn away wrath, to be as wise as a serpent, as gentle as a dove. Between those three things, you start operating like that. You don't react, you just respond. And you take your emotions out of it. And you got to look at it like, guys, if you guys can look at this thing like it's somebody's, whenever these people like try to get you to react, just know that it's coming from the enemy, because he can't attack you from any other close relationship, because you don't even really have any anymore, because there's no good quality people out there. There's very few, and the ones that are quality, I'm probably talking to on here, and we're spread out across the land, you know, far and few between. Well, what did it say? It said that we are the salt of the earth, you know, the Lord's chosen. And so if we're the salt of the earth, I mean, when you put salt on a big plate of food, you just sprinkle it, you know, a few like pieces of salt here and there to spice it up. We're the spice of the world. You know why we're the spice of the world? Is because what you're seeing out there these days is a bunch of, you know, it's funny because the narcissist thinks they're kings and queens, and that we are like cattle to them, or we're like their slaves or servants, right? Or under their servitude, and we're their property. You know what the funny thing is, though? Is they're more like cattle than anybody. They have no opinion about anything. And if they do have an opinion, it is like the opinion of the cattle drive. Meaning, if generally speaking, the matrix that we live in votes this way or votes that way, or is pro this or pro that, well, that's what they love. That's what they like. They're never going to be outside of the norm and the progressive push. I mean, they push the matrix. So what the matrix is pushing is what they're behind every single time. And it's kind of funny because it's like a lot of people be like, oh, it's again like the psychologists. The psychologists. Well, they'll be saying, hey, well, I mean, how would they use that and give you like any kind of reasoning behind that? Well, they'd probably go ahead and tell you, well, they do that because it's good for the mask. No, they are part of the matrix. The matrix, like all these buildings and TV stations and radio stations and movies and music and all this stuff. That's like the hardware to the matrix. And the narcissist is like the software to the matrix, and, they kind of make, they're kind of like the electricity to the computer or something, you know what I mean? It's crazy though. I mean, everybody seems to be toxic, and you got 1 in 6 people, according to Dr. Romney, is probably a narcissist, and she's like the top of the food chain when it comes to dealing with narcissistic abuse, or if you have any if you need any understanding of what narcissism is. I wouldn't doubt if she's a narcissist. Really, this is crazy. So 1 in 6, right? So 1 in 6 is a narcissist. And then every narcissist has 4 or 5 flying monkeys. So, I mean, how many people out there that are not narcissists, but also not controlled by the narcissist under the narcissistic spell? I'm starting to feel like there's very few people out there. And it may just be the salt of the earth, the few of us. Because the whole plate of food, y'all, has been corrupted. They're not even humanity anymore. And we always talk about how, in humanity, there's so many like non-player characters or soulless portals. It's almost like they're not even there. Or how could you work for 40 hours a week or whatever the hell you do, and then you just come home and, I don't know, it's like there's no spiritual growth at all. I mean, I always say, if Satan could distract you your whole life, man, and he's won your soul. And it's kind of like, in my opinion, it seems like that's what everybody is doing now. They go to work, they come home, or they go to school, they come home and lay on the couch, man, all weekend or something. And then they go back and do it again. Repeat. Just like the narcissist cycle. Wash, rinse, repeat. Well, they're like wash, rinse, repeat with their whole week. It's like, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to go to work. Then I'm going to come home. Then I'm going to wait till Friday. And then we're going to lay on the couch till Monday morning again. I mean, really, and do it all over again. With no thought of how we got here. They don't believe in God, most of them. Or if they believe in God, they're so confused on what that God would be. Or they claim to believe in the God of the Bible, but they don't believe his son. Or they believe the God of the Bible, but they also believe other gods. It's ridiculous. I mean, this is not supposed to be. This is paganism at its best, man, or its worst, however you want to look at it. I don't know what to say, however you want to look at it. But it's crazy. And I it's not getting any better. It's to the point to where you don't want to have any friends at all. Because what's going to happen is they're like soulless portals out there. They're just like a cattle drive to nowhere. And I mean, you just have to accept everything. And I don't know how they're going to get fuel in the future. Because as we start, I used to think this was all a bunch of crap, man, but I'm starting to really understand that, I mean, if we're the only ones with fuel and there's nobody out there except soulless portals that are being controlled by the narcissist, those people can't be giving them that much fuel. I mean, because they're damn near narcissists themselves. And if they're not, they're so, I don't know, when you get under that kind of spell, you're just as toxic as they are. Well, because you're backing up the narcissist. And I mean, if that's what they're getting for fuel, I mean, I guess it's enough to survive, but it kind of makes you wonder, man, like how many people out there are not under the narcissistic spell and are not one of the 6 narcissists. I mean, how many people in humanity, like, you know, Christ's humanity, are out there anymore? I don't think there's that many of us. I mean, it could be like 1%. Could you imagine, like, out of every 100 people that you meet every day or see every day or run into every day or deal with every day, well, what if 1 in 6, well, what if like 17 of them out of the 100 are narcissists or in the cluster B category, and then like 80 more or 82 more are going to be under the spell of narcissism, doing whatever the hell they want. That's why I always say, like, I don't think that you could change people. I mean, I don't think people will change that much. I think that the people that are doing anything in the world today different is the empath that wakes up. I mean, that's probably why God calls us the salt of the earth, because we are the spice. We are we make that whole plate of food taste better, you know, and we spice up this world. They don't. They're like zombies out there waiting for us to show up and turn on the power to the party. You know? Don't get it twisted. Whenever they tell you that you're a piece of shit, they don't love you, and you have nothing to offer, my God, please don't believe it. I mean, you can't believe that after what I just told you about what's going on in the world. I mean, it's like there's nothing out here but zombies, soulless portals, and people being spellbound by witchcraft. You know, witchcraft is, I'm starting to realize, is very serious. And you just got to beware, because like these entities they'll be either jumping into these people that work with you, or they're already were in them, and they just kind of they were getting at you in different ways before, like through family and stuff, and love partners and friends and frenemies, and controlling you that way. And now they can't do that, and that's not common these days. I think there's a lot of them out here. It's almost like The Walking Dead. You know, that show, The Walking Dead? They're doing everything but growling and biting your damn neck. Anyway, if you could give me a like, a subscription, a thumbs up, appreciate it. I love y'all. Peace be out.